Good evening and welcome to Purim Ball 2021. Thank you for joining us, hundreds strong, from near and far, and for your support of the Milton Gottesman Jewish Day School of the nation's capital during this challenging time. I'm really excited to spend this evening with you, and we have quite a production in store featuring special guests, reflections from current students, staff, and alumni, and an exclusive performance by world-renowned musician David Broza. Purim Ball is an annual celebration of leadership and excellence in Jewish education in Washington, D.C. In this tumultuous year in particular, it could not be more fitting or more necessary than to honor the teachers and staff who bring a truly kaleidoscopic set of talents and expertise for the benefit of our children and our community. It was almost exactly 1 year ago, at the onset of the pandemic, that Milton announced it would transition from in-person instruction to online learning. Within just a few days, Milton faculty and staff turned on a dime and rose to the occasion with their characteristic creativity and can-do spirit. In the weeks and months that followed, the professional and lay leadership of the school were confronted with many difficult decisions in navigating these unprecedented times. We were worried about our school, the safety and the collective good of the students, their families, and our neighbors, and that's what remained paramount for us as we faced each decision. We were reminded once again that Milton is a community Jewish day school in every sense of the phrase. We are so much more than just a school for the 475 students currently enrolled, and I know that for many of our founding families who are watching or were here in the early days of JPDS, the idea that we would be 475 students is truly astonishing, and we are very, very grateful. We have become a hub of Jewish life and a source of comfort and support for current families, for the many families who came before, as well as for those who are just now entering the embrace of Milton. When you become part of the Milton community, you are etzlenu b'Milton. You are with us and we are with you, through thick and thin. These are much more than platitudes in a brochure. I know that I speak for many of you watching tonight when I say that Milton friends are the ones who dance at our family's smachot, our celebrations, and who fill our living rooms, or now our computer screens, at Shiva, or times of loss. As if adjusting to the fluid environment of educating 475 children from pre-K through 8th grade in the midst of a global pandemic weren't complex enough, last July we welcomed a new face and a new family to our community when Dr. Deborah Skolnick-Einhorn began her tenure as our third head of school. Just last week on Purim, we read in Megillat Esther that Mordechai said to Esther, "Who knows? Perhaps it was for exactly a time such as this that you have attained a position of leadership." Dr. S.E., Deborah, you did not have the low-key, midsummer entry we envisioned at the time of your hire. Since your first day on the job, you have led this school and community with ingenuity, patience, emotional intelligence, and seemingly no sleep. We are very grateful to you for envisioning and then re-envisioning again and again what education could be this year, whether in a socially distanced classroom or on zip lines in the woods. Thank you, and thank you to your family for the many sacrifices they've made in loaning you to us. Deborah was new, but her landing was cushioned and then buoyed by a professional team that is the envy of many. We gather tonight to honor the 137 Milton staff members, facilities personnel, teachers, security guards, counselors, classroom aides, administrators, and office professionals, without whom the mission of the school would go unfulfilled. Your nurturing of the whole child, intellectual, emotional, physical, is filled with intention and care. We are all so grateful and in awe. Each of you and all of you together inspire us to more deeply appreciate the gift of education. It is not lost on us the extent to which you have risen to the myriad tasks asked of you over the past few months, so many of which were never on any job description written in the before times. Rabbi Abraham Joshua Heschel once said that what we need more than anything else are not textbooks, but text people. It is the personality of the teacher which is the text that the student reads, the text they will never forget. You teach our children history, art, Torah, science, Hebrew, math, Arabic, engineering, and yes, Menschlichkeit. By simply showing up every day, even in times of uncertainty, you model the idea that learning is an essential part of life, that being committed to expanding your horizons is a lifelong endeavor, even when it's scary, even when it's hard. To the Milton staff, I say, on behalf of the Board of Trustees, parents, students, and broader community, a heartfelt thank you. And to everyone watching, let's join together in the hope that in the words of our musical guest this evening, Yiyeh Tov, it will be good.
Hello, I'm David Rosa, and I'm very happy to take part in the celebration honoring the teachers and the staff of the Milton Gottesman Jewish Day School. We'll have music tonight, and of course, celebrating the achievements of the Milton Gottesman Jewish Day School. And so I'm thrilled to take part in this evening. Hope you all enjoy it. Thank you.
David, wow, welcome. We are so grateful and excited that you're here with us tonight. Thank you for making the time to elevate this evening as we honor our team here at Milton. One of the many odd things about this year is that our school can't welcome visitors. That includes parents and alumni and many of our extended family who are here with us tonight. So we wanted to illustrate for you what school looks like this year, how we operate, since it is so radically different. You'll get some glimpses from our slideshows and videos, but I believe it is best explained with some simple math. Here goes. So a typical class in a typical year has 18 to 20 students, or so I am told. I haven't done a typical year just yet. This year, to comply with social distancing and cohort limits, we had to cut that number in half. Of course, if one teacher would typically be with that group at any time, we now need 2 teachers. Teachers, for their part, need to teach each content area twice to ensure that students in each half of their class receive each lesson. Sometimes those lessons might be on 2 different floors. So in essence, we double the number of hands needed on deck and double the number of lessons each teacher teaches. Still with me? We've done this all while double masked, doubling down on cleanings and screenings, doubling our nursing team, even doubling our school sites this fall. To do so, we also needed to double the funds raised to expand our staff to meet all of those many expansions. And we are so grateful to everyone here who has helped support those extraordinary efforts. Parents especially. Your support of our team, recognition of their extraordinary efforts, even as so much more is being asked of each of you at home and at work, amazes me each day. This year of more brings me back to a text in Pirkei Avot, where Hillel teaches us his own equation. Marbe Torah, marbe chayim, marbe yeshiva, marbe chochma, marbe eitzah, marbe tevuna, marbe tzedakah, marbe shalom. But the Torah, the more life, the more sitting with scholars, the more wisdom, the more counsel, the more understanding, the more charity, the more peace. It's very easy for us to recall and recoil at all the ways this year is more difficult. But without overshadowing those incredibly real challenges, we can also remind ourselves of the mores that will enrich us as a community going forward. We have leaned on each other more, been more vulnerable and honest, pushed ourselves to focus more on the essentials, built more trust and interdependence, and recognized more than ever before what a resilient and creative team and community we are. And every single person on that team has become a teacher. I mean that literally, in that every department has lent hands in the classrooms, and more abstractly, that every member of our team has modeled for our students what commitment looks like, even when we might be scared or stressed or hit the pandemic wall over and over again. Each of you this year has taught resilience, persistence, kindness, and creativity. And I believe this is what makes a great educator and a great educational institution, that everyone who is part of it is committed to our ultimate purpose, which is the growth of all of our students as Jews, as mensches, as thinkers and creators, no matter how much more is asked of them. This has ripple effects on every family and on the community and world at large, resulting, as Hillel said, in more wisdom, more understanding, and more peace. My predecessors in this role, Susan Koss and Naomi Re'em, have been architects of that wisdom, understanding, and peace for this community for 3 decades and have supported me more than I could have imagined through this first year. I am so grateful to the ways that they shape Milton and eager to share with you all the perspective that I have gained in my conversations with them as the 3 of us join in conversation tonight. Welcome, Naomi and Susan.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hi,
Nice to see
guys.
you.
It's so great to see you.
It's so great.
We're up against some big competition tonight. We have the royal couple being interviewed by Oprah and the basketball all-star game, but I think we've got some juicy stories of our own, and I'm excited to share them with our community. We're really, Milton is no stranger to challenging circumstances. We were nearly homeless, as I've heard, in the early 2000s. We've been in tight spaces and swing spaces when we were reconstructing our buildings again and again. And there were moments when things just seemed too fragile to go forward. Can you guys speak a bit, maybe starting with Susan, about some of those most challenging moments in our history as a school and how the faculty and staff met the moments and how also they shaped our school and what it has become today?
The one thing that has come out of our beginnings is that you really haven't changed so much. The basic values, the core values, the Menschlichkeit that was just spoken about, this is who JPDS was desired to be. And this is what those original parents who worked so hard for us, and that inspired all of us to keep going. The beginning was a beginning. We had a few kids. You have over 400. We were thrilled to go above 40. But we did. And it was love. It really was something that we just felt was the right thing at the right time. There was 1 year that was very bad, that Purim, that we were leaving our original home of Addis, Israel. That Purim we spent in court trying to get a pass through DC. It was the most memorable Purim, probably, but it wasn't a joke. And people worked so hard. And, Hashem, God took care of us, and as did the community. And the community is still there. They helped pack us up when we had no idea where we were going to be in the fall. And they helped unpack us when we got to Linden Lane. And then they helped pack us up again when we were so fortunate to buy the building on 16th Street. And that group of parents, the faculty, the staff, were inspirational. You couldn't not do it because they believed in what we were doing.
Naomi, I know you have some similar stories.
Yes, I think that our story is a story of real estate and courage and moving and growing and finding places at the very last minute. When we signed the contract for Grace Church to have as the temporary site when we were rebuilding the North Campus, I think that no one believed that we will ever find a place. I think that, the faculty was going on faith and trust and courage, basically, not knowing where school was going to happen the year after. And I think it was the same when we were fortunate enough to get the South Campus. Also, almost didn't happen. And at the last minute, things turned out okay. So I'm with Edna in thinking that the right people at the right time is what made Milton, and it still makes Milton. So
I notice as I look around our halls that actually many of the people still here were hired either by Susan or by Naomi. And I'd love for you guys to speak about, the role that those folks have played to build the culture, to build the community that we have here today.
Well, I do believe that God has a big part in the success of this school, because, like Naomi said about finding a temporary place, but it's also the staff and faculty who came. I can't imagine what it'd be like to head to the school now, to work in the school now. This is not, this is beyond Ken. But when people first signed up, they were here hook, line, and sinker. I mean, it was total. It was building every time. It was, yes, there was a curriculum, but there were so many wonderful children who had different needs than what the curriculum could do. And they devoted so much time for each child, for each family, to bring them into the school and help them grow and help them be who they are today. And I find it very unbelievable that some of these kindergarten students, a second grade, they are doing amazingly wonderful things. And it's a credit to the faculty and the staff, everyone, from the minute you walk into the building, and how the children brought home so much of what they learned, and how the parents use that to just grow. And to me, that says it all. That because once the teacher closes that classroom door, it has nothing to do with what the building looks like, what the textbooks are like, or anything else. It's that teacher and those children. And that's JPDS Milton.
Naomi, any final thoughts on that front?
It's interesting because I think that every single person that was hired at Milton or at JPDS was the person with the right attitude. Like, we had people with very long resumes, we had people with very short resumes, people with a lot of experience, people with very little experience. But what all of them bring is what it makes the culture at Milton. It brings resilience and creativity and flexibility, brings a belief on children, and that children are capable and competent, and they put the children in front of anything else that happens. I think that the proof is in the pudding. Every single day when they come into the building, they put everything else aside, and they are there for the children. And most importantly, I think they are also there for each other. They are supportive of each other. They are team players. There is no competition. There's a lot of constant help, mentoring, and I think that's what creates the vibrancy that Milton has. So every one of them, kolakabon.
That this year, the mutual support, and sometimes that's actually together in person, and other times via Zoom or phone. And really just thank you for those hires, Susan, that you started, and Naomi, that you continued to create this beautiful community here at Milton among the staff and faculty. It is an extraordinary place to work, even in this moment. And I'm so looking forward to being here for many years, as you both were, to continue to build on that. And I'm looking forward to the drink that the three of us are going to have as soon as we can. But thank you for your continued support during this year. I'm so grateful. We all are.
Thank you. And thank you to all the staff, the faculty and staff. We love you.
Hang in. Yeah. Thank you.
To the teachers, the staff, and the leadership, thank you for being so resilient.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
From the bottom of my heart and the heart of the Jewish community, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Being so wonderful.
Thank you for making this year amazing, even though it's been hard.
Thank you for all you've done to help us. Thank you so much for your devotion and love and kindness.
Could not be more thankful.
Thank you so much, Milton.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Milton teachers. We love you.
Woo, you're the best! Thank you to all the teachers. I love you. And the staff.
תודה רבה לכם על כל העבודה הקשה.
We love Milton. Thank you to all of our teachers. Thank you for working so hard to teach us.
Thank you to the staff and all the people behind the scenes who have just kept everything going so well.
Thank you to everybody who helps make Milton run smoothly and make sure that all of our kids are safe and cared for and that it's a wonderful community that it is.
We love you!
We are so lucky our children get to learn from you and be around you.
This year of all years, you have proven yourselves indestructible and have restored the souls and the love of learning to our children, to our family, and to the greater community.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you so much for all you do this year and every year.
Mazel tov, everyone.
Mazal tov, Milton teachers and staff. Thank you for everything that you do.
To all of the Milton teachers, faculty, and staff, congratulations on this well-deserved honor.
Happy Purim!
Erev Tov. It is such an honor to share my appreciation and thoughts with each of you this evening among my amazing colleagues representing us, the faculty and staff of Milton. This past year, each of us has paused to count our blessings. This evening, I want to reflect on the blessings of Milton, inspired by my 7th school year here at Milton. Here are my Milton Sheva Brachot, my Milton 7 blessings. Blessing number 1. Joy. Loris Malaguzzi, a professor and an individual that was instrumental in the creation and development of the Reggio Emilia approach, said, "Nothing without joy." The blessing of joy is brought by our Milton staff and faculty to every program, big and small, from every Hagim celebration to silly dance parties in our classrooms. Wonder. Our Milton team provides our students an opportunity to ask questions and dive deep into curiosities that are critical for understanding. To embrace wonder is to provide our students with a sense of awe on a daily basis. Growth. Not only has our school grown in physical size and numbers of students, but our learning here at Milton has grown too. Throughout my years, I have had so many opportunities for professional development, including opportunities to collaborate with Jewish professionals around the world. Lifelong learning is lived by the students and staff here at Milton. Tradition. Milton traditions are embedded in our school culture and provide a sense of excitement as our students rise up through the grades. I know our kindergartners are so excited and already counting the days into their 3rd grade performance of 50-50. These traditions are some of my favorite things to plan because they reflect our values as an institution and allow both the students and the staff to shine. Compassion. Daily text message chains filled with words of encouragement or cute stories from a long school day. Beautiful meals, gifts, and hand-me-downs when a baby is born, something that my family experienced 9 months ago. A warm smile, an air hug. My colleagues have become my friends and my support system. As a team, we are there for one another. As a community, we care for one another. Thank you to my fellow staff members, my friends, for all that you are and for all that you do. Families. In a silly conversation with a parent a few years back, they jokingly called me Mr. Feeney, a fictional character from Boy Meets World who miraculously moved up from elementary school to middle school to high school and then to college with his students. Although I have now stayed and gone to Purim for 7 years with my amazing co-teachers, I've had the honor of seeing my once 2-year-old students from the then DCJCC grow up to be big, creative, curious mensches. These opportunities to see our students grow year by year feels nothing short of miraculous. My last blessing of Milton, L'Dor Vador, from generation to generation. Across the years, across our campuses, we connect to another. We learn from each other, and we learn to appreciate what each of us brings to our community. May the learning that our students take part in and the lessons that our staff impart Help us make our world a better, brighter, and more amazing place. Thank you to our Milton community for honoring us, our Milton amazing faculty and staff, for the hard work and endless love that we put in each and every moment, each and every day.
Thank you, Zani. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Hanina Goldstein, one of the 4th grade General Studies teachers. I'm honored to speak with you on behalf of the teachers. Just when the temperatures dip and it's hard to imagine that spring will ever arrive, my family looks through colorful catalogs and orders seeds for our garden. Recently, our seeds arrived and we began planting them under lights in the basement. When the danger of frost has passed, we will transplant these seedlings into the raised beds in our backyard. In reflecting on Milton and my experience as a teacher in this community, I realized that in many ways we are all like gardeners working together. But instead of nurturing plants to grow and thrive, we nurture children so that they can grow and thrive. As gardeners, we prepare the soil by turning and enriching it. We plan the placement of each plant so each gets sufficient sunlight. We run irrigation lines to ensure they have enough water. Just as some plants need more stakes and trellises for support, others need more space. As teachers, we take great care to create the right conditions for each student to succeed. But we can't do it alone. Just as plants depend on sun, air, water, and soil, the students depend on teachers, administrators, staff, and parents working together. This year, the importance of that collaboration has become especially obvious. When I consider all the different people doing their parts, flexibly changing their roles, learning new ways to teach, configuring and reconfiguring schedules, cleaning and cleaning again and again, it is truly an amazing feat. My teacher colleagues bring new ideas and energy to their classes. They share their excitement about books, help each other with new technology, and share smiles on Zoom and in the hallways. I couldn't wish for better colleagues. Supportive administrators and staff go the extra mile and don't seem to know the words no or enough. They check in to see how we are doing and ask how they can help. They deliver books after hours so we can use them the next day with our classes. They make sure our building is clean and safe and resolve technology challenges, large and small. I am so grateful for their support. This year, more than ever, we depend on parents to help us understand what is happening behind the scenes on the other side of the screen. They are guest speakers who bring countries and issues of the day into our virtual classrooms. They express their appreciation in notes and holiday messages. They even help us find vaccine appointments. I deeply value my partnership with parents. Gardeners know they can't make plants grow. Plants grow themselves. Gardeners just create the right conditions. In our garden, the students are growing. Given all the ups and downs, changes, and uncertainties, the students display their grit, compassion, and thirst to learn. It's hard to imagine traversing so much unfamiliar terrain without them to keep me grounded. Teaching is a joyful and at times a humbling experience. There are many things that are out of our control, especially this year, but we are getting through it together. Now it's just about springtime, time for our garden to flourish.
Thank you, Zani and Hanina, for those inspiring remarks. I know they come from the heart. Tonight, I am delighted to be joined by a few current Milton students, as well as 3 JPDS alumni. We are joined by Matilda, class of 2027, Eleanor and Gideon, class of 2022, Zoe Goldman, class of 2017, Ezra Meyer, class of 2012, and Dory Fox, class of 2003. Welcome, and thank you for being here tonight. Jews have always valued the relationship between teacher and student. In the Pirkei Avot, Ethics of the Fathers, the rabbis tell us, make for yourself a teacher and acquire for yourself a friend. I still remember my first grade teacher, Mrs. Maudie Edwards, and her high expectations and twinkly smile. We all know from direct experience that truly gifted educators do so much more than transmit facts or skills. They see children in their entirety. They connect both intellectually and emotionally to cultivate enduring relationships with their students, bonds that continue to shape and motivate us even years after we have left any one classroom. So I'd like to hear from some students here about which Milton teachers, which JPDS teachers have had an influence on you and what you remember. Matilda, let's start with you. Do you have a particularly favorite memory or an experience with one of your teachers at school?
Well, a nice memory was a memory from South Campus. This memory, I think, was in kindergarten, and so Miss Davis, well, one of the Miss Davises, because there are two. Well, I asked Miss Davis if I could perform at Kabbalat Shabbat, and she said I could, and that was really, really nice. That was really fun, and over a few, maybe when I was in first grade, she put up a board and she wrote down names of people who wanted to perform. So a lot of kids got to perform, and it still makes me happy when I think about it. And also, I just want to say, Gaver Hatsav, if you're watching this video, I really, really like Shabbat Babokel.
I bet that makes Gaveret Hatsav feel really, really happy, just like Mrs. Davis made you feel really happy. Thank you, Matilda, for telling us about that. Maybe we'll jump from our youngest student here to Dory, who is our alumna from 2003. What do you remember from JPDS, from your time there, and how teachers made you feel, or pieces of advice they gave you?
I think that it's not surprising to me that my greatest memory is also of Kabbalat Shabbat. Every week, at least the way it worked when I was there, Gaveret Koss, who was our principal, would tell a story for the whole school, and it would somehow relate to the Midah of the month. I don't know if that still exists, but it was sort of, a Jewish value that we focused on every month. And I loved it. I loved any time that we were told stories. And that just was a really special time in, every single week that I still remember to this day.
Does that sound familiar to any of you listening? Other teachers and special rituals that you had with them?
Yeah, I mean, one thing that stands out to me is I remember when I was in first and second grade, we always saw the older boys wearing their colorful kippahs that Rabbi Majeski had made for them, who I believe taught in third grade. And so then when it was my turn to be in his class, he would make them one by one for each person. Finally, I got mine, and they would be personalized and have some figures that related to the kids' interests. And then I remember he even made one for my dad, and it was just kind of like a rite of passage at JPDS at the time. And once you got that, you were kind of one of the older kids, and like a bona fide student to some extent. And it's just like really nice to think about the connections that we used to have.
But he made it so individualized for you. It wasn't just something generic. It's very cool. How about you, Gideon and Eleanor?
I certainly think a memory that stands out to me is in my fifth grade year 2 years ago. We were at recess playing Gaga, and a student was sitting on the side of the pit on like a ledge, and the ball comes up to them and hits them straight in the face, and they're toppling backward about to hit the pavement, and our teacher, Miss Hirsch, makes an amazing save to stop them from like slamming headfirst into the pavement. And that just stood out to me because it showed like they're there for you. They're there to look out for you.
That's a true superhero move, huh? How about you, Eleanor?
Yeah, for me, I think, again, in 5th grade, my teacher, Mr. Volk, amazing teacher, he unfortunately wasn't able to be there for the entire school year. But I remember when he first came back into school after his recovery, everyone was so happy to see him, and the way he lit up, or to me at least, it felt like he lit up when he saw all of us and when he taught us again. It was so genuine, and it was just such an amazing experience to see like someone come up after having not being able to really teach us the entire year to teaching entire classes and really having fun with it.
It's not just your feeling, Eleanor. I know both my sons were really lucky to have Terry Volk as well, and it just gave them such a huge boost to come back and be with all of you. So totally. And in the time we have left, how about you, Zoe? Any piece of advice or particular connection or memory?
I mean, I think some of my my most inspiring teachers have been actually my math and science teachers. I am studying STEM right now. I'm studying engineering at my high school, and having, I think specifically Miss Herndon, she was inspiring just because she was, first of all, a female in STEM teaching a class that was majority boys. So on its own, it was difficult. It was difficult to like either speak up in class or just like make yourself heard. But I think having a female teacher teaching a math class, that really pushed me. I became a lot more comfortable. I think I had a great connection with her. She was probably one of my favorite teachers, and any of my other science teachers, specifically the female ones, since we don't have a lot of those in the field, were particularly inspiring.
I will say in my math class, in Miss Herndon's math class that Eleanor and I are in, there are 2 boys and I think 10 or 9 or 10 girls.
Well, that makes sense in a grade with like 5 boys.
Can't relate to the majority boys comment.
Matilda, I'm curious from you. How do you feel now that you're able to go back to school in person? How do you feel when you see your teachers, and are there things they do that show you that they are caring about you?
Well, I don't really know, but it's really, really nice to be in person because I can see my teachers, and it gives me a sort of fuzzy feeling that makes me really happy.
Totally. And it'll be so great when COVID is over and you can hug them again. I'm sure they really, really want to.
I also want to say that some of my favorite classes are science and Judaic.
So kind of like Dory and like Zoe, and Ezra mentioned a Judaics teacher. Actually, everybody has sort of covered that. Anyone else want to add something else? Ezra, Dory?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I just remember kind of somewhat of an unconventional memory and like ongoing memories is one of the teachers and staff members that stands out to me the most is Mr. Mandelbaum, who was the gym teacher there for the majority of the time I was there. And he was also the coach for all the sports. And I just remember like him always pushing us in a good way to work harder. And we were the league kickball champions. And just like taking that work ethic and that drive, especially in athletics moving forward, I think was immensely helpful. I think going on to play sports in high school, and even now, like 15 years later from having met him, he still has such an impact on kind of like my my outlook.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think I vaguely remember one of our coaches, I think it was probably in kindergarten. It was like one of his last years, or like some of our first years were some of his last years. And he was talked about for years. Like I remember we would be in like 5th or 6th grade PE. People remembered him for like forever. I don't know. So yeah, no, I definitely feel that impact from him. He was a remembered one.
I'd also say just Matilda talking about what it's like to study at Milton now during COVID, and I'm sure all of us have had different experiences with education's kind of being upended and things being, chaotic with online learning and all that stuff. Or maybe that's just me and my teaching is kind of chaotic. But anyways, I have a really strong memory of my 3rd grade teachers, Ms. Goldenberg and Ms. Muser, who it was a time when the school was sort of transitioning from Addis to Montgomery Hills. And now looking back on it, knowing a bit more from our parents, I know it was a really kind of precarious and chaotic time where the future of the school felt really uncertain. And no one really knew what was going to happen the next year, but it never felt that way when we were learning with our teachers. I still remember those teachers so well, particularly because of kind of all the chaos that seemed to be happening all around us, and how it really felt like they stood through it with us. And I was just reminiscing about it with one of my fellow classmates, who's still one of my best friends. So I think it was really, really special, those teachers for us.
Thank you for that, Dory, and thank you, everybody. I think from Matilda to Dory and everyone in between, we get the sense of the kind of steady, reassuring, warm and fuzzy, as you said, Matilda, hand and guidance that we've all gotten from JPDS and Milton teachers. And we really appreciate you being with us to offer just a glimpse into the daily work and the profound impact of Milton teachers and staff. Now, let's watch a short video to learn more about the extraordinarily dedicated group of professionals who are the foundation of the school that we all cherish.
I'd like to thank the Milton faculty, the Milton staff, for delivering a really exceptional year amidst really challenging conditions, and for continuing to support the Milton mission, to deliver the Milton mission, and for looking for opportunities to adapt that.
When I went into teaching, I never thought of a teacher as an essential person. But when COVID hit, I saw that my role as a teacher then became so important.
You hear stories all the time about how one teacher's comment, one teacher's show of support, one teacher's project that allows a student to realize learning can be fun, transforms that person for a lifetime. That's the essence. That's the goal. That's the dream.
Milton teachers are incredible.
Hi, our teachers have helped us through virtual and in-person learning.
אני רוצה להגיד תודה למורים ומורות שלי במילטון. כל אחד משפיע על לימודים שלנו עם הרעיונות מיוחדות שלהם.
אני מלמדת במילטון כ-18 שנים.
I've been working in Milton for 20 years.
So I'm happy to be here because the kids are certainly happy to be here.
It feels good to welcome people in the morning.
What fills me up each day are my students. I walk to the computer in the morning and I turn it on and they start zooming into my room with their smiles and their energy and their excitement.
I am so grateful every day to have found the path of teaching and to connect to these amazing kids and then have the chance to see them grow.
That excitement that they have and that look of discovery that they get is so it just makes me feel amazing, and it makes me feel so happy for them that we're sharing this moment and they're learning something new.
I love seeing the kids' faces light up. I teach reading, and there's something about little kids learning to read where there's a light bulb.
One of my favorite moments in the classroom is that when I introduce an activity, their arms shoot up in the air like they have just won the lottery because I'm gonna read a book or because we're gonna do an activity, but because they have this ingrained love for learning. It doesn't matter what the topic is, what the content is, what the activity is. It's just exciting to be doing something that's going to expand their mind.
I know that I've done my job when I see that proverbial light bulb shining just above a student's head. It lights up their faces, and I see that they know that they've got it.
I teach for the aha moments. And I teach because I was encouraged to be curious and ask questions from a young age.
Our teachers are at the core. They are essential because during this time of our students' lives, when they are discovering their world, and perhaps even more importantly, understanding and discovering themselves, our teachers open the gateways for that deeper understanding.
Teachers are essential because they steward our children through their days, through their years, through their lives, through losing a tooth at school or through a difficult moment with a friend. They are the ones who step in and say, "You were amazing," or the ones who say, you can do this better and I believe in you.
I am with them, I'm learning with them, I'm jumping with them, I'm dancing with them. We're learning together, and it's very nice to see how the kids grow.
I love the students. I love seeing the excitement in their eyes and bringing joy to the classroom and getting them excited about learning.
We see that the rabbis in the Mishnah were already very focused on trying to consolidate and focus on the essential messages that were important for people to carry in their lives. And so this year has been an exercise in that, on focusing on what are the dvarim sheha'olam omed alav. What are the things that the world stands on? What are the essential ideas? What are the essential experiences for students? And that's forced us to be creative, innovative, and to connect in very powerful and meaningful ways.
COVID has really changed what school looks like this year. What hasn't changed is the love of the school, the love of the community, and the enthusiasm that our staff has shown.
Yesterday, one of the kids said to me, she goes, "Air hug, Miss Chadwick." And I was like, ugh. And it just made everything worth it.
We have asked teachers to literally create new schools, build a new virtual school in the spring, build an outdoor school in the fall, build a hybrid school in the winter. What I've been amazed by is the creativity that's been brought to each one of those shifts. I don't think I could have imagined how quickly it would feel like, oh, this is our team. But I feel that way every day.
The entire team at Milton, from our fabulous cleaning staff who are working so hard and so tirelessly to keeping our school clean and a healthy environment for our students, to our teachers who are working so diligently at coming up with new ways to be innovative in the classroom.
I will call my teachers the Nakshans of 2020, of this pandemic. They were the first to step into the water. They were the first to be in the building and to navigate through how to teach, how to have children learn the scope of the curriculum.
What I saw was teachers who, had worked through their own natural, worries, concerns, who were able to focus all of their attention and energy onto creating an experience for their students that was as normal and positive and joyful and enriching as it would have been any other year.
It's a whole new world. I think it has taught us a lot. It has changed how I teach, but I think in some ways for the better. I think some of the things I've learned this year, I will carry on.
This is a team of educators who are always looking to improve. We're really helping our teachers be lifelong learners, which they absolutely want to be. And, I'll have staff come to me all the time and say, "I found this program, can I apply to do this?" Or "I really want to learn this skill." And what we're starting to have now is a collection of in-house experts on a variety of different things.
In 2 weeks' time, I'm actually presenting at NASA Houston at a virtual conference, which will be to an audience of 5,000 teachers from around the globe. And that's all going to be about how we educate at Milton, what resources we've actually been able to reach out to, the people that we've been able to form meaningful and insightful partnerships with, and ultimately how this really impacts the children and what we're able to offer.
You could never find more creative, innovative, loving, caring, deeply dedicated master teachers than you would at Milton.
Shalom Aleichem, Aleichem Eveinu Shalom, Shubidubab.
This year has been a struggle in so many ways. And our teachers took on their role as our students' guides, our students' leaders, beacons of hope and light in a time that has felt so difficult. And they found ways to help our students see the joy and embrace it.
These teachers consistently blow me away with their commitment, with their creativity, with their passion.
Everyone has contributed, from the staff, the teachers, but not only within the school, the parents have contributed, the kids have contributed.
One of the incredible hallmarks of a Milton education is that drive of the teaching staff to always be working on making things better.
Even with their masks, you see the big smiles on their faces. And so, would we love for COVID to be gone? Yes, please. But is it totally worth it working so hard on the weekends and on our time off? Absolutely, we would do it all over again.
These teachers are phenomenal, and they, never cease to amaze me. These are the hardest working, most caring, compassionate teachers that I can ever imagine, and I'm just so privileged to have the opportunity to work with them and know them.
And when the children look back on this time in their lives, they will remember that their teachers truly believed in them and that they were together in this time, in the most difficult of times, in it together and supporting one another.
Just knowing that we're surrounded by people that care about us and want to make sure that we get the best experience, it really comforts me and it helps me enjoy the day more.
Thank you so much. You guys are really helpful and really nice, and I'm happy to be your student.
Hi, Gila. Hi, Marnina.
Hello.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I have to say I got kind of choked up watching that, because I'm here obviously not just as president of the Board of Trustees, but also as a parent of a current Milton student and of an alumnus of the very last JPDS graduating class that graduated on the stage in the previously dumpy small old gym. And it just shows how many of those faces were consistent across those years, 16 years of schooling. And, we have very little turnover at our school, and I think there's a reason why. So thank you. We are looking forward to hearing.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, please.
I was going to say, you could feel all of the joy coming through in everything that the teachers said, that the faculty said, and that the students really experienced. And it was just so special. It's like everything that we saw in that video, that was Milton.
Gila, anything to add?
I agree. I see it, and I see the connection with the students and the bonding with the students every day that we are trying to build, and we are building. And I saw it in the movie. It was clear. It was there.
Right. And as someone noted, despite the masks, it was expressed through eyes. I was, struck by how many bodies were moving. The teachers are finding ways to feel and connect. We're really looking forward to hearing from both of you. But first, I am really excited to present some special gifts to the two of you that you will receive on behalf of the entire faculty and staff of Milton. Prior to this evening's Purim Ball, every single staff member received, delivered to his or her home, a basket of food, drink, and some very special keepsakes. I want to say thank you to everyone who sponsored those packages. Included in those packages, there was an engraved kaleidoscope. And just as a kaleidoscope's beauty flows from the interplay and ever-changing interlocking colors and shapes, so too, if I can extend the metaphor, the beauty of a Milton education is colored by the unique talents and passion that every teacher and staff member brings to their work. It's an ebb and flow, adapting to and growing along with each individual student. So we hope that you will keep these kaleidoscopes as a keepsake, as a memento of our appreciation. We also present to you this evening a custom-made painting that we commissioned from Israeli artist Noam Shagorodsky. If you look closely, you can see the North Campus at the northern compass point, the South Campus at the southern compass point of the image, Jerusalem in the east, and our nation's capital in the west. So showing the touch points, the lodestars for our community. Jewish education has always been about connecting students to their past, nurturing them in the present, and equipping them with the foundation to ably navigate and positively shape the future. In the cycles of a life and the cycles of a school year, Milton's teachers act as guides and mentors, and we hope that this work of art will symbolize that for you. Marnina, Gila, it's a pleasure and a privilege to present these gifts to you. Thank you for accepting them on behalf of your colleagues, and thank you for your dedication and your hard work.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the gifts, and I truly believe that the kaleidoscope is can reflect on what education work is. ערב טוב, אורחים יקרים, אורחים ובני משפחה, חברי ההנהלה, מורים ותלמידים יקרים. כבוד גדול הוא לי לדבר פה הערב, ואני באמת באמת מתרגשת. אני רוצה לספר לכם מהו מילטון בשבילי. מילטון זה קודם כל בית ומשפחה. אולי חיכיתם שדבר ראשון אני אגיד שמילטון זה בית ספר שעובד ושואף למצוינות. אבל אני חושבת שהרגשת בית ומשפחה הם הדברים שעושים את מילטון לבית ספר מצוין. במילטון יש עם מי לדבר ומקשיבים לך בכל נושא, פרטי, משפחתי וכמובן אקדמי. במילטון שואלים אותנו מה אנחנו חושבים, ולא מפחדים לשמוע אותנו, ולמורים יש הרבה מה להגיד. במילטון, כמו במשפחה, לא תמיד מסכימים על הכל, אבל אפשר לדבר. כל הדברים האלה הם לא מובנים מאליהם בכל בית ספר, ולכן מילטון זה בית ומשפחה, ואני מעריכה את זה אפילו יותר. במילטון כל הזמן מחפשים דרכים חדשות איך לעשות את תהליך הלמידה יותר יצירתי ומשמעותי ללומדים בכל הגילים. לפעמים אפילו יותר מדי דרכים חדשות באותו הזמן, אבל כל הזמן מחפשים איך להיות בית ספר עוד יותר טוב, מורים יותר טובים, ולהפיק את המקסימום בכל מצב. כן, בכל מצב כמו עכשיו. תמיד מאמינים בנו. ההנהלה מאמינה בנו, ההורים מאמינים בנו, והילדים מאמינים בנו, שנוכל להביא תוצאות עוד יותר טובות בכיתה ולילדים. אנחנו נמצאים בחיפוש מתמיד, דבר שלדעתי עושה את בית הספר רלוונטי. במילטון מורים חוגגים ימי הולדת, לידות, נישואין וכל שמחה שמגיעה לחברים שלנו. ולהבדיל, נחלצים לכל עזרה ותמיכה כשצריך. זאת משפחה. מילטון זה בית שמתחדש, גדל, מתפתח, עוזר ותומך. אני שמחה לעבוד פה ולהמשיך להתפתח כל יום, כל שבוע, כל חודש וכל שנה, גם אחרי 10 שנים במילטון. תודה לכל החברים שלי במילטון, ויש הרבה. תודה להנהלה שמאמינה, תומכת ומעודדת אותנו, ומעל הכל וקודם כל, תודה לכם ההורים שנתתם בנו אמון, ובחרתם לשלוח את היקר לכם מכל אלינו. אנחנו עובדים בצוות. Thank you so much for this honor, and thank you everyone watching for your support. שושנה, אוהבים אותך.
תודה גילה. ערב טוב, קוראים לי מרנינה קאוון, ואני מורה לערבית, עברית וריקודי עם בחטיבת הביניים. Good evening. My name is Marnina Cowan, and I am a middle school Hebrew, Arabic, and Israeli dance teacher. Be the change you wish to see in the world. The words of Mahatma Gandhi continue to constantly remind me of who I am and where I'm going. My journey took me through a career in Middle Eastern affairs, then to international health, around the world to India, Australia, and South Africa. Those are stories for another day. And then finally to the education field, where I realized my ability to not only be the change, but to do so while inspiring young, future change makers. As I reflect on my experiences at Milton, I continue to appreciate how much the school aligns with my personal mission through its role in creating change makers. I hope by the end of my short presentation, you will walk away feeling the same way. What characterizes a change maker? While there are many attributes, I would like to briefly focus on 3 today, which immediately come to mind when I think about my Milton experience: excellence, caring, and community. Change makers need a stimulating, personalized, and excellent education. Over the past year and a half, I have come to understand how Milton is a place that breathes and exemplifies excellence in academics. While I have been made aware of Milton's excellence across subjects, I am most familiar with our accomplishments in Hebrew. Milton was selected as a model school for the instruction of Hebrew through the proficiency model. Other schools look to us in the field of teaching Hebrew. Our students learn Hebrew from authentic texts, not from textbooks. Their learning is real world and personally meaningful. Hebrew levels are never a barrier. Students are given the ability to learn and grow as successful communicators, regardless of their ability. Milton students are receiving an education in Hebrew and in other subjects that empowers them and prepares them for what is next. Change makers also need to be creative and think outside the box. The middle school's Immersive Learning Week is one example of Milton's creativity at its peak. During Immersive Learning Week, a program unique to Milton, students take a deep dive into a subject they wouldn't otherwise study in school, and then create something to share with the community that showcases their learning. Through the week-long program, I have watched students go from learners to innovators, to choreographers, artists, creators of social action projects. The list goes on. Yes, this experience is short and time-bound, but the impact is great and the effects are long-term. Last but not least, within our physical and virtual walls, Milton is a place of caring and community. Teachers care about teachers. Teachers care about their students. They meet students where they are to ensure their success. This is something I prioritize as I teach students at a variety of Hebrew levels with varying attitudes towards the language. Parents care about teachers. I can't count the number of thoughtful and personalized emails I have gotten from parents thanking me for teaching their students. Thank you. Our students care. The concept of community is rooted in our Judaic and secular studies curriculum. We dance to raise money for tzedakah. We celebrate life cycle events such as births and b'nai mitzvot as a community. News of a sick parent, teacher, or student is met with an overwhelming response as the Milton community takes action, creating meal trains, sending cards, making phone calls. After news of Shoshana Sfarzada's illness was shared with the student body, one of my students let me know that his cohort was designing a social media challenge to raise awareness for ALS and money for Geveret Sfarzada. Stay tuned for the full details. #Geveret Sfarzada. These are our students, learning the importance of Tikkun Olam and then leading our community to bring good to others. השנה הזאת, שעטופה בענן אפור של קורונה, אני מוצאת את עצמי חוזרת כל הזמן אל המשפט שאמר גנדי, תהיו אתם השינוי, זה הזמן שלנו להביט אל העתיד. אני כל כך שמחה להיות חלק מקהילת בית ספר שמלמד את התלמידים שלו להיות השינוי החיובי שאנחנו צריכים. אני יודעת שאני מדברת בשם המון מורים, שאני מאחלת לבית ספר מילטון חזק ואמץ. מי ייתן ובית ספר מילטון יתחזק מיום ליום. In our current pandemic-ridden school year, where so little feels normal, I often find myself turning back to Gandhi. Be the change. This is a time when we all need to look towards the future. I feel blessed to be part of a school community that is teaching our students how to be the positive change our future needs. I know I speak on behalf of many teachers in wishing Milton chazak ve'amatz. May Milton go from strength to strength.
Maunina, Gila, hamon toda lachen. Thank you so much. We know that every word comes from the heart. For those of you watching from home, there are so many ways that you can show Milton's teachers and staff that we stand with them, that you can show our children how much we value their education, Jewish and secular, that you can pay it forward as a person or a family who benefited from the work and generosity of those who preceded you. You can help to ensure that Milton remains strong and vibrant in perpetuity. Showing up tonight, cheering on our intrepid faculty and staff is one way, and another way is by donating in support of the school's mission. Now, for perspective, in a typical year, Milton relies on charitable gifts to cover as much as 15% of the budget. But as you can imagine, the urgency of philanthropic support increased exponentially this year. Let me paint the picture for you. What started out as a $1 million need has now almost doubled. When the time came to reopen school in person this pandemic year, Milton's administration, faculty, and staff, and the board doubled down and did not rest until they had developed an innovative plan to get our kids back to school, including substantial investments in technology. We hired more staff to facilitate smaller classes and safe cohorts, as Deborah explained earlier. We purchased personal protective equipment to protect students and staff and the community. We rented outdoor spaces to allow this urban school to reimagine classrooms in the safety of open air. And nearly 500 donors, including many of you watching tonight, have donated to the school already this year. Thank you. Now I ask that you join them, join us, join me in giving to the Milton Fund. If you are giving for the first time tonight, welcome to a warm, committed community of donors, and know that your gift will be put to good use. If you are considering giving for the third, fourth, or fifth time this year, thank you, truly thank you for your generosity and steadfast support. Please consider donating any amount right now by texting Milton, the word Milton, to 243-725. Whatever you can give. $5, $500, $50, $100, whatever you can give is deeply appreciated and very much needed in order to equip the teachers you've been hearing from to pursue their aspirations to fruition, to do whatever it takes. Milton development staff are standing by to receive your gift, so please text Milton to 243-725. Giving is something that is so easy to do and yet so enormous in its impact. Getting a message. I understand that some gifts are coming in. Thank you. Keep them coming. It's not like the old school telethon where I could have, phone bank ringing and hear it. But please text on your device. Thank you to everyone who has given and will give in support of the teachers and staff, in support of the Milton Gottesman Jewish Day School. As we move into the musical part of the evening, we are thrilled and honored to be joined by David Broza, who is performing just for us from New York. In Israel, David Broza is a household name. He's a true superstar, a world-class performer, a dedicated activist, and a moving singer-songwriter. But opening for David tonight, we're bringing you some homegrown talent, a group of Milton and JPDS performers covering Shir Ahava Bedouin, Bedouin love song, one of David's first recorded songs. I believe it's on his first album, and still a hit. What you're about to see is a collaboration among teachers, students, alumni, and alumni parents making music together, and it's reflective of the Milton JPDS community connections that stretch backward and forward across generations of families. Enjoy.
של המדבר היה שולח ליטפו את גופך והסופה טרפה הכל חדה להיות כמו החולות אני רוצה אותך כמו סלע אז הבטיח לא לנדוד שוב השיטפונות שכח את כל מה שהבטיח
אל הצלילים של החליל הושיט ידיים בסופה במחול טירוף בקנה הסוף נחשף שיכור כמו חול ברוח גם הסלעים פרסו כנפיים חזר שוב על סוסו להעמיק את מות האוהל
על העיריות היא בחוטים ובצבעים מילים רק מה
ברוך שובך בוגד אחוז היטב במות האוהל כי גם אותי סופה נודדת
Quick message, if you're having any trouble with the texting, please make sure that you text Milton in all caps or visit our website, miltongottesman.org. That's MiltonGottesman.org. So either text to 24, let me make sure I got it right. The number is 243725, and you text Milton, all in capital letters. Or, as it says on the bottom of your screen, visit our website, miltongottesman.org, to make your gift there anytime. Thank you so much. And now, David Broza.
Hello, everybody at the Milton School. I'm so happy to be with you all tonight. It's been a challenging year for everyone, and especially the teachers who are working so hard to keep schools open and supporting our children through the pandemic and doing heroes' work. Our children are the hope for the future, and especially in these times, we have to come together and support each other. I hope you're having a good time, and tonight, while you're here, please thank a teacher and support the work they do by making a gift. So now for some music. Thank you. And so I will start with the first song I ever wrote. It's called Yeh Tov, Things Will Be Better, especially dedicated for tonight.
אני מביט מהחלום וזה עושה לי די עצוב. האביב חלף עבר לו, מי יודע אם ישוב. הליצן היה למלך, הנביא נהיה ליצן, ושכחתי את הדרך, אבל אני עוד כאן, ויהיה טוב, יהיה טוב, כן, לפעמים אני נשבר. אז הלילה, או הלילה, איתך אני נשאר. ילדים לובשים כנפיים ועפים אל הצבא, ואחרי שנתיים הם חוזרים ללא תשובה. אנשים חיים במתח, מחפשים סיבה לנשום, ובין שנאה לרצח מדברים על השלום. ויהיה טוב, יהיה טוב, כן, לפעמים אני נשבר. אז הלילה, או הלילה, איתך אני נשאר. כן, שם למעלה בשמיים עננים לומדים לעוף, ואני מביט למעלה ורואה מטוס חטוף. ממשלה של גנרלים מחלקת את הנוף לשלהם ולשלנו, מתי נראה את הסוף? אוי, הנה בא נשיא מצרים, איך שמחתי לקראתו, פירמידות בעיניים ושלום במקטרתו, ואמרנו היי בוא נשימה ונחיה כמו אחים. ואז הוא אמר קדימה, רק תצאו מהשטחים, ויהיה טוב, אוי יהיה טוב, כן, לפעמים אני נשבר. אז הלילה, או הלילה, איתך אני נשאר.
So this song, having been written over 40 years ago in 1977, has gone through some additional changes over the years. My friend Yonatan Geffen, the poet, keeps on writing new verses since he wrote the original poem, and he always sends me new verses. I'd like to add one that I will translate for you so we're all on the same page now. This one says, that we shall learn to live together under the olive trees, and that children will grow up knowing no more wars, no terror, no frontiers, and that fresh new grass will grow over the graveyards for love and peace. For after 100 years of war, we haven't and will not lose hope. עוד נלמד לחיות ביחד בחורשות עצי זיתים, ילדים יחיו בלי פחד, בלי גבולות, בלי מקלטים. על קברים יפרח העשב לשלום ואהבה. 100 שנים של חרב ועוד לא אבדה התקווה. אז הלילה, הלילה, איתך אני נשאר, ויהיה טוב, כן, יהיה טוב, כן, לפעמים אני נשמע. אז הלילה, יום חדש, כן, 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 יהיה טוב. Okay, so this was just the beginning. Thank you. Well, this next song that I'm going to do is kind of a different song in my repertoire. It has been influenced and inspired by a song from the Algiers from the 1950s called Yarayech. Yarayech meaning the traveler. Now, I've been listening in the last 10 years, or 20 years actually, to a lot of music coming out of North Africa, from the Maghreb, Rai music, or what we call Andalusi music. And so sometimes I've incorporated some of it into my music. And this particular song, I just fell in love with, and I took parts of the song from the original Algerian song, and around them I wrote my own traveler song. My traveler, and I have no idea how the Algerian traveler travels, but mine, I put him on a train, and that's how he passes his life. Just riding that train and looking out and looking at crossroads and intersections and comparing him to his own life and where he's heading to. So this is Zeh Kol Klum, and this is my version. שלוש 34 בקרון האחרון, דבר קטן וטוב של קרבר וקפה היום, ערים חולפות בחושך, מה מנצנץ בחוץ, אולי זו פילדלפיה, אולי זה הקיבוץ, בתחנה של ג'אז, בלדה של קולטרן, שקשוקה מסילה, הולך ומתעמעם, אור של עיירה נמתח כמו מסטיק בחלון,
עוד קופסת סיגריות, נגיע לדרום. זה הכל או כלום, זה הכל או כלום, בגלל זה ניפול, בגלל זה נקום. זה הכל או כלום, זה הכל או כלום, את יודעת מבפנים, זה הכל או כלום. איי, 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 שהדלתות סגורות, האורות קווים, עכשיו זה רק אתה, באמצע החיים. אנשים עולים, אנשים יורדים, עוד כמה תחנות, כן, נוגע בקמדים, עמוק בתוך הלילה, מריח את הים, מריח את העיר, את אורך החם, 2 לילות מחיפה, רץ בתוך חלום, רואה שם את פניי בנוף של החלום. זה הכל או כלום, זה הכל או כלום, בגלל זה ניפול, בגלל זה נקום. זה הכל או כלום, זה הכל או כלום, את יודעת מבפנים, זה הכל או כלום. לה 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 אתה יכול ללכת, אתה יכול לחזור, אתה יכול לשכוח, אתה יכול לזכור. מולי שם ילד, מביט בעיניי, 5:34, אני עדיין חי. זה הכל או כלום, זה הכל או כלום, בגלל זה ניפול, בגלל זה נקום. זה הכל או כלום, זה הכל או כלום, את יודעת מבפנים, זה הכל או כלום. אתה יכול ללכת, אתה יכול לחזור, אתה יכול לשכוח, אתה יכול לזכור. עיניי נעצמות, האורות קווים, עכשיו זה רק אתה, באמצע החיים. אנשים עולים, אנשים יורדים, נוגע בכולם, במתים ובחיים. זה הכל או כלום, זה הכל או כלום, בגלל זה ניפול, בגלל זה נקום. זה הכל או כלום, זה הכל או כלום, את יודעת מבפנים, זה הכל או כלום, זה הכל או כלום, זה הכל או כלום, בגלל זה ניפול, בגלל זה נקום. זה הכל או כלום, זה הכל או כלום, את יודעת מבפנים, זה הכל או כלום. זה הכל או כלום.
Thank you. All right, it's getting hot. Oh, I'm just beginning to warm up. So I spent my teenage years in Spain between the age of 12 and 18. This, of course, answers a lot of questions if anybody wonders my connection to Spain and to Spanish guitar and my kind of way of playing. Although while in Spain I was really a rocker and much more into rock and roll, but I was a kid. And I still maintain that level of intensity, but this instrument dictates the style in which I play, more or less. It comes with a style because of this classic, character. And I did spend some years again, 25 years after I left Spain, I went back to Spain and started recording new material, but in Spanish this time, which I'd never done before. I'd like to do the first song I recorded in Spain. I co-wrote it with a wonderful guy. He wrote the lyrics, Jorge Drexler. He's one of the finest singer-songwriters today in the Spanish and Latino markets as a singer-songwriter. So this is called Raquel, meaning Rachel, Rachel. And it's about a young social worker in Madrid as she goes about working on the problems and helping those in need in the inner city. Falls in love, of course. And that's the, I would say, the serenade. Busca mis ojos, toma mi mano, acércate. Este es tu sitio, esta es tu taza de café. No digas nada, dices con la mirada más de lo que crees. A la deriva, llevas el alma en el timón, vas por la vida solo escuchando el corazón. Buscas un puerto, buscas un cielo abierto, lejos del dolor. Oh, 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 Raquel. Oh, 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 Raquel. Tanto camino, tanto buscando en otra piel a tu destino. Querías mantenerte fiel, princesa herida. El teatro de la vida cambia tu papel. Oh, 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 Raquel. Oh, oh, yeah. Oh, 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 Raquel. So I'd like to conclude my concert with a song that I recorded in one of my sunrise concerts in Masada, and it became a huge, huge hit. It's called Mitachat HaShamayim, Under the Sky, and it's the ultimate serenade. What could sing goes like this. באנו לכאן מתחת השמיים, שניים כמו זוג עיניים. יש לנו זמן מתחת השמיים, בינתיים אנו עוד כאן, את ואני.
את ואני, או את ואני, המיטה רחבה, לתת אהבה, לילה ויום, לילה ויום, או לילה ויום, החיוך מתנצל, שהוא מתנצל, כן באנו לך, מתחת השמיים, שניים כמו זוג עיניים, יש לנו זמן מתחת השמיים, בינתיים אנו עוד כאן, שנינו אחד, שנינו אחד, או שנינו אחד, אחד שלם ועגול, שלם וגדול, בואי ניתן, בואי ניתן, בואי ניתן, אני אתן לך לתת, לתת לי לתת לך, כן באנו לך, מתחת השמיים, שניים כמו זוג עיניים, יש לנו זמן מתחת השמיים, בינתיים אנו עוד כאן, ולמרות הפער, ולמרות הכאב, ולמרות הצער, אני אוהב ואוהב ואוהב. Na 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 כן קצת קצת ביחד כן באנו לך מתחת השמיים שניים כמו זוג עיניים יש לנו זמן מתחת השמיים בינתיים אנו עוד כאן כן 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 באנו לך מתחת השמיים כן שניים כמו זוג עיניים יש לנו זמן תחת השמיים ובינתיים יש לנו זמן הרבה זמן הרבה זמן זה כל העניין כי יש לנו זמן הרבה זמן כן יש זמן כאן יש זמן הרבה זמן יש זמן כן יש לנו Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Wow. Thank
That
you,
was
David, so
amazing.
much. Toda rabba. You know, Deb, I've been listening to his music since I was the age of our Milton students, so it just means a lot. It's like a chibuk cham, like a warm hug to hear him. So thank you for helping to pay tribute to our wonderful, talented faculty and staff. We are so grateful to you and your team, Deb.
That was amazing. The whole night, and Edna, I get to say it to you often one-to-one, but just for emceeing tonight, but also just being my partner through this year. I really could not have asked for a better support or confidant or just person to get through every issue with. We're incredibly lucky to have you leading our school, and I'm incredibly lucky to have you as a friend, colleague, and partner. Really, I can't thank you enough. I also want to just end tonight by thanking our development team, Josh, Noah, Lori, and Dan. Oh my goodness, amazing. You've pivoted and reinvented again. To our third time Purim Ball chair, JC, thank you for all that you have done behind the scenes to make this not just a special night, and I don't think we've mentioned this enough, but it has been weeks of surprises and gifts and many ways of honoring our team. And we are also grateful for you being the engines behind this. So thank you everyone for being with us tonight. Thank you for choosing us over the Royal Couple or the All-Star Game to be here, where we're truly living a mission that holds all of our values at its heart every day. Thank you, Edna, and to everybody, good night. Laila Tov.
Good night. Laila Tov to everyone wherever you are.